I think that's a part of the great choice of artists as well. I know we're going to get onto the art in a bit, but the fact that it's not such a traditional comic book artist, maybe like your Jim Lee, who's amazing at doing these huge kind of action scenes, but Walter brings a lot of emotion to it. So you see a lot of emotion in the characters' faces. And I think that's like how bits like that work really well, because you can kind of read it in the expressions, even though they're robots or synthesoids. It's like a really important combining of the right artist for the right story. Like, I don't think it would work the same with a super traditional, like, superhero artist on the book.
Yeah, because I think you really need that emotionality to be seen, because this book is so much about emotions and human emotions, whether it's by the Vision and his family or by the humans in the book. The idea of humans kind of being a little bit of the bad guy, because when I think it's Vin is asked if he's normal in school, like that to me was just, that it hurt, because it's like that's what every kid kind of goes through, and he thinks that he's not normal, and he thinks that he's not human, but in actuality he's going through the same kind of things that kids go through growing up, and it just makes him human, which I think was one of the most powerful aspects of the story to me, is this thriving to be human, when in fact they are probably more human than the humans that are just offering them cookies because that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's taking the whole idea of the want to fit in is like one of the most human desires. So yeah, like you say, that despite them not being human, that almost heightens their humanness in terms of what they're experiencing in the stories. It's like the most extreme version of that. I don't fit in, new school, new friends, are people going to like me? Am I different to everybody else? It's like that taken to 11.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that, it's very funny because you're totally right. And the most impressive thing is like Vision's family is trying so hard to become human, and they don't realize that in the struggle of finding that humanness in them, they are already doing human stuff. Like you see, being super obsessed about fitting in and about poetry, and then Beef also about liking a guy, and they are still confused. Like, am I going on the right path or am I not? And when you mention about Vision stuttering, uh, the wife also does it when she starts to become more human, when she starts to feel guilt, and when she starts to cope up with all of these emotions. Uh, that's the funny thing. Like, we as observers, we are able to see that clearly as they, but they as characters are still struggling, trying to fit in, trying to find that human part in themselves when they are already doing it.
Yeah, and I love also the when Vin is reading Shakespeare, I think it was like The Merchant of Venice, and he's quoting the line, if you prick us, do we not bleed?" So that definitely appeals to. I feel like there's also some racial undertones that could go along with this as well, but just trying to showing that they are trying to they're just people, they're artificial people, but they're still people in their eyes. But I think that it took me a while to really understand what he was saying with the Merchant of Venice quote, but then when he started saying, "If you prick us, do we not bleed?" then it kind of like really started to sink in for me.
What graphic novel would you like to see us talk about on the panel? Let us know in the comments, and your submission could be picked for a future episode.